So basically America is stuck. Even if you start right now, this minute, you start educating new generation of Americans, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism. The next stage is destabilization, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast.
Gay people can't reproduce. That's the reason that we exist. God created everybody so that we can reproduce. And that's why you look so happy as a father, and why that makes me happy seeing that you're enjoying fatherhood, because that's the reason why we exist. And the LGBT people, they will always resent the fact that they can never fulfill their purpose. So they reproduce by coming for the children. They don't want kids. They don't want straight kids. They want more gay people. That's why it's not about acceptance. It's about making everybody gay. So they get more gay people by touching a kid.
Check out this new concept. This concept of conceiving kids. Now the mother will no longer have to carry the kid for 9 months. Now it can be raised in a bag. How convenient. Mothers will no longer have to sacrifice their time and, most importantly, their bodies. Does this sound like something you would be interested in?
Subscribe
I
now.
would love to tell you this is a new concept, but if you know anything about human cloning, you would know they've been doing this for quite a long time. Only now is it finding its way to consumers. What's your thoughts on this? Please leave it in the comments.
Get a good president in there, you know, turn it around. You don't think
I don't put a lot on the president.
I
don't put a lot on the president,
well,
for sure.
I wonder what would happen if Robert Kennedy Jr. got in there. Very interested to see what happens with that guy.
Yeah, he seemed like a guy who at least is down to deep dive.
Yeah.
And talk real and really try to dissect what's really going on instead of just going with the herd, which would be easy for him to do, like go with the herd. By him going this route, it's like he's on a more noble route, and we just check him out and see how he navigates some of this stuff.
He's definitely on a more noble route, and it's definitely not something he planned to do initially. I mean, he was an environmental attorney.
Yeah.
He was the guy that cleaned up the Hudson River.
I spent my career working for a blue-collar coalition of commercial and recreational fishermen. And over the next couple of decades, we brought over 500 successful legal actions against Hudson River polluters.
He'd go after these corporations that were dumping toxic waste, and that was his thing. It was like mercury in the water, and you know, trying to hold the corporations accountable. And then these women started showing up every time he would give these speeches, and they said, "We want you to look into mercury in vaccines."
Yeah.
And so this is 18 years ago. And so for 18 years, this guy's been saying all this stuff about environmental concerns. And that was what his whole thing was. And then it wasn't until COVID came along. And then he wrote that book, The Real Anthony Fauci, detailing, you know, what it is that these people are actually doing and how they are engineering these viruses. And they give grants, and it's dangerous gain-of-function research, and then they give you one medication that you have to take, and everybody gets on board with it, and they're making billions of dollars.
Yes.
And no one's talking about what he's saying, and he's saying it in a well-informed way, and he's expressing it to people like this is the playbook they always use, and they just used it on everybody.
Look, he's dealing with the same people we probably all are dealing with, and it's really time for us to really come up with a plan on how we're gonna deal with this, because it's just gonna continue to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not cool.
No, it's not. And I'm hoping people wake up enough to at least slow it down.
The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal, i.e. the goal is to have an endless war, not a successful war.
And so if you want, which is what they do want, a world government, a world central bank, a world army, an amalgamation of NATO and the UN peacekeeping operation, a world currency, electronic, no cash, and a microchip population, then what you've got to do, and this is the way they work, a process I call problem, reaction, solution, you've got to keep creating the problems, get the people to react, do something in fear and outrage, oh, look what's happening, what they're going to do about it, and then they, who've covertly created the problem, offer the solutions to the problems they've created, which is the constant centralization of power. That's what all the solutions are. And we're seeing such a wonderful example now with what's happening in the financial industry.
Absolutely.
And if we don't wake up, we're going to live in a global fascist dictatorship within 5 to 10 years.
If you represent, or if you have the audacity to speak out against what is the party narrative for the day, they'll lock you up, not because of what you did, but because of what you say and what you believe in, to send a message to you that if you don't stop, it's only going to get worse. And they couldn't have picked two more worse people to try that out on than Tristan and Andrew Tate, because these guys ain't rolling over for nothing. Because these rich men and these rich women, but primarily men, because that's their circle, who have the yachts, who have the this, who have that, who have all the material things in the world, they see value in what Andrew and Tristan has to say. They see value in having these men in their presence, and that says something. But these other soy-infested wimps, these limp wimps who want men to be neutered, gender neutral, and not successful in this life, loathe them and hate them for their message, and they'll stop at nothing to see these men put in jail, even if it means that they're going to jail for doing nothing wrong. At the end of the day, what you really have is one woman from America who went there for 6 days, and by the 6th day, she had contacted the United States Embassy and the local authorities to say that she was being human trafficked. Somebody who went there voluntarily on her own accord. 6 days later, there's a human trafficking case. Gee, I wonder how the hell that happened. I mean, come on. It's the setup of the highest order.
Do you know where the chip shops is? What? The chippy. Sorry, I got hands full, sorry. That's all right. Do you know where they do bats? If you go that road there, yeah. Turn left. If you see a sign, yeah, saying Dudley Fish Bar. Do they do chicken breasts?
I do.
I think so, yeah.
We're going to get a chicken breast.
Thank
Cheers,
you,
love.
Bye-bye. Bye. Have a good night.
Leaving the train and step onto the platform before removing heavy